living peaceably is an act of war. Isn't that funny? It is. It is an act. You are declaring war against every philosophy and religion that advocates at least some wars as being beneficial to mankind. Our position is none of them are beneficial. None. Evil is to be resisted, not provoked. It is to be outthought, not outfought. We have a battle plan. We have tactics and we have strategy. But none of it includes dropping a bomb or firing a gun or, yelling angry words. That's what evil expects because it wants to be justified. It wants to look at their enemy and see the same hatred that they feel themselves. And so the hatred becomes justified. You ever wonder how Gandhi freed a nation from an empire and never fired a shot? Because England was willing to fire shots and commit massacres. And when the response was peaceful, they looked terrible to the world community. And it got so bad that the only way England could redeem its image is to let India go. That's the only way they could do it. England was angry and vengeful and hateful. And Gandhi would not allow the Indians to respond in kind. They would pray.
It's trying to prevent him from it sometimes.
Oh, he did, yes. Yeah, one time his weapon was to go on a fast. If you guys don't stop this hurling bombs, I'm going to die on a fast, and then how bad will you feel? It'll be your fault. And so they would stop fighting, because they didn't want Gandhi to die and they would feel all responsible. And the word would go through India, go village to village. Hey, we got to stop fighting. Gandhi's fasting, and if we don't stop, he's going to die. That's moral authority. What we offer the world by the way we live is moral authority. Not authority built on might, but a morality built on grace. Peace, nonviolence. What are our weapons? Well, we have to, and I write about this in the paper, we have to have the ethos of a true warrior. Sounds like a dichotomy, sounds like an oxymoron. To live peaceably, you got to think like a warrior. But you do. You just have to interpret the principles. You have to apply the principles to fit the battle. Again, that brings us to evolution. You adapt. You improvise. The old peace model has simply never worked. What's my evidence? Well, the United States is in another war. We've been having peace protests for the longest time. There were peace protests back in 1845, 46, when the United States picked a war with Mexico. Some people went to jail. A famous guy went to jail. He sat in that jail cell and wrote one of the greatest pieces of American literature ever penned behind bars. Henry David Thoreau wrote Civil Disobedience. Did it end war? No, it didn't. You have to have another approach. So where's the master plan? Where's the way to do that? Well, it's in the teachings of Yeshua. There's the master stroke. There's the power. How do you beat your enemy? You outthink them. Do the unexpected. You cannot go into this fight. It's a fight. We just don't punch people out, thinking that you're going to get through it unscathed, that no one will ever get angry at you, that no one will ever call you a coward, that no one will ever try to humiliate you or embarrass you. If you think that, then you're a dingbat. You have unreal expectations. And because you don't expect to get hit, you will get hit a lot. And you will be the first one to break. Because no one taught you to defend yourself at all times, to never let down your guard. I'm going to teach you how to do that. It's right in this book. You know, we are warriors. We just don't carry guns. We don't use angry words. What we use is the etiquette, the ethos of a warrior, and the etiquette of grace. Living peaceably is a declaration of war. It's just a peaceful one. Do we march for peace? No. We live peaceably. One of the most important rules I have in my paper is it's a simple statement. Don't preach peace. Live peace. You start preaching peace to people who are not peaceably minded, you're going to get hit. You get hit often enough, you become punch drunk. You start acting stupid. Your enemy is not the person yelling at you. The enemy is not the guy who wants war and who wants to humiliate you. The enemy is your lower passions, your own dark speaker who just has to respond. You know, that becomes the enemy. And so you have to keep that person quiet. When I talk about you're going to get hit, well, I never mean the enemy hitting you. That can be survived. It's when you hit yourself. So how do you defeat an enemy that wants war, knows war, and the economy is based on it? How do you beat them? You do the unexpected. One of the things Uncle Ern taught me in learning how to fight was not just how to block, but how to duck. How to buck and weave, slip a punch. Make an enemy wear themselves out trying to hit you and never being able to connect. It takes their breath away. Over a period of time, they get exhausted. You know, well, how do you do that? Spiritually. If you're going to live peaceably, how do you do that? You do the unexpected. What's the basic formula for that? It's the very thing that offended Yeshua's disciples. It didn't just offend the Pharisee. It didn't just offend the scribe or the Sadducee. It offended Yeshua's own disciples. A lot of them got up and walked away and never followed him again. What was his advice? You've heard it of old, love your enemies, love your neighbors, but hate your enemies. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Oh. Bless those that curse you. Do good to those who despitefully use you and persecute you. Do these things, you'll be the children of God. You know. Whoa, the unexpected. If a man smites you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. How many of you have heard that? Come on. When I was a young man, I brought this up. I was in the Army. I brought this up to a guy who claimed to be a Christian. He was a deacon, and he's a deacon in the Baptist church. And said, well, that's how you become a wimp. That's for people who can't defend themselves, not me. I'm not going to be a doormat for anybody. Someone smikes me on my right cheek, I'm going to knock them on their butt. Oh, really? Is that what Yeshua was prescribing? How to be a wimp? No. You know what is really behind turning the other cheek? You want me to tell you? It is your first act of divine defiance. It is to look your enemy in the face and say, you can hit me all you want. I will not be moved. I will not respond the way you do. I will not respond the way you expect. Every time you beat on me and I don't respond, but I look at you kindly and I'm gracious, you will look bad. What do you think beat England? India's Army of Independence? They didn't have one. The Indian guerrilla movement, fighting from the heels, cutting the throats of British redcoats? No. The fact that they wouldn't fight. They were kind. They were good. They took their lumps without complaints. And the press was there to watch it. Whoa, this is not good for England. And finally, in the end, the great empire builder himself, Churchill, finally had to concede, we have to let India go. Lord Mountbatten goes, we can't redeem our image unless we let them go. We have given ourselves a black eye, beaten the hell out of India. And they never even threw a punch. So how do we live peaceably? How do you live in a world where hardwiring, like evolution, says that the best way to resolve an issue is by war? How do you undo that hardwiring? You introduce a new hardwiring. That's how you do it.